The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of WBBZ-TV. It's time for Political Buzz, the television forum to discuss politics and issues of interest for all of Western New York. Now, from the WBBZ television studio at the Eastern Hills Mall, this is Political Buzz.
Hello and welcome to Political Buzz. I'm John DeSciullo here on WBBZ-TV. From Washington to Western New York, where every voice is heard. And we need more of your input for our show. You can go to Facebook and like our page, WBBZ-TV. You can share your opinions on what's happening in our world. You can tweet us at WBBZ. You can find us at twitter.com so I can share your messages. Do that because next week we're going to pick up on something we just heard as we started recording our show, that there's great movement afoot to open the government once again. So we're happy about that. So we'll share your thoughts on that shutdown that we've just experienced, Obamacare, affordable health care. Steve Pidgeon, Carl Palladino return for that. In fact, wanted to make mention of our contributing friend Steve Pidgeon, the Buffalo News this week, and BuffaloNews.com with reports that Steve has some really strong ties to Governor Andrew Cuomo, and they're growing stronger all the time. We're going to talk to Steve about that. And Governor Cuomo, if you're watching, you are welcome to join us right here with Steve to be a guest on our show. Let's pick up on what's happened this week as we get going with a busy half hour. Let's start by showing you this photo. It was released by the University of Buffalo when ground was broken Tuesday for the new medical school in downtown Buffalo. The facility will bring in 2,000 faculty, students, and staff to the medical corridor, which continues to grow. Main and High Streets is where you'll find all the construction going on for the next few years, completion expected by 2016. WBBZ proud to partner with UB in supporting their athletic programs, and in the coming months, we'll expect to find out what is happening with the medical school and what it will mean for Buffalo. Also this week, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz showed us the money, $1.3 billion to be exact, which is the budget to run the most populated county in Western New York. That's Erie County. And in 2014, that's the plan. But guess what? No new taxes. I've posted the link to the Buffalo News article that outlines Poloncarz's plan that has also identified various cultural institutions and emergency services that will receive benefits. That's on our website, WBBZ.TV. But wait, the budget news did not come without some criticism. Republican Comptroller Stefan Mihailo says $5.4 million in county surplus funds should not be used, saying it should be saved for a rainy day. We hope to hear from Stefan and his Democratic challenger for the office of Comptroller, Kevin Gaughan, in the coming weeks here on Political Buzz. But talking about the budget and speaking of money, did you know that a reported $1.5 million a year could be driven back into the coffers of our county, driven hard and fast, like you see Tom Torbjornsen here driving some test drives, if you did one simple thing, and that is renew your vehicle registration directly here in Erie County. Now, we've touched on the Renew Local campaign with our first guest before, but we need to find out more about it. Not only where the money goes, if collected here in Western New York, and what you need to do if you're a driver of an auto or a truck. And my goodness, I hope you're not driving your car like that all the time. But Chris Jacobs, you're here and joining us back on Political Buzz. Thanks for welcoming
Thank you for having me
back to the show. You're welcome. $1.5 million, and that's only with 12% of that money.
Exactly. So this is a rare opportunity where a citizen can make a choice, and where they renew their registration. It's something you have to do every 2 years, but if you do it locally, a percentage of the money stays here. And as you said, we only get about 12.7% of any transaction. The rest still goes to Albany. But because there's so many drivers, as you say, the largest county in Western New York, that money adds up. So if everyone renewed locally, we would find $1.5 million each and every year of reoccurring money without raising taxes, without raising fees. It's just where you allocate it. So I think most people feel that the money would be better served, better used here locally than heading up into the coffers of Albany. So I've really been on a mission since I've gotten in office. I've spent the whole summer going door to door trying to tell people that this is something that they have an opportunity to do. The state doesn't tell you conveniently when you get the mailer from the state a couple months out of your registration renewal. They send you a letter and send you a pink envelope, but they don't tell you if you mail it in on that with that pink envelope, it all goes to Albany. So we've created a counter envelope, a green envelope, to keep it here locally. So either renew locally at one of our conveniently located auto bureaus or mail it into us. Either way, the money stays here. And again, the money does not stay with the clerk's office, does not stay with the auto bureau. We give that money to Erie County and hopefully help the legislature and the county executive in the effort to hold the line on taxes and fund critical services. So our office is a rare bird in the sense that we generate revenue for the county, and what the revenue we generate, in my mind, helps offset the pressure to raise taxes, raise fees, and we all want to see that continue.
Well, and it's great that you're thinking in that vein. In fact, what you see on the floor here is what you would find at some of the area auto bureaus. It's green, and so we wanted to make sure everybody sees that, renew local, and we'll take a look at the envelopes. And it's interesting because you're right. When the state sends you information, I would think the average person would say, well, it's time to renew. I got to get this done. They throw it in the mail, and they send the check, and away it goes, without ever really thinking that, 12% of that, I think it's, what, $60 to renew your registration?
Yes, yes.
So 12% of that does add up, considering all the millions of drivers that are out there.
Absolutely. And these displays that you showed, what we're doing is we're trying to work and partner with anyone in the community to help get the word out. So
we have libraries that are helping you too.
We have every public library has these, and every town hall has them. And then we've actually, last week we announced a partnership with Dunn Tire, that all their locations, they will have them. A lot of people going in, getting inspections prior to registration renewal, so we thought that made some sense. And if anybody wants one of these for their place of business, if they have a lot of people coming in, they can go on our website, erie.gov/clerk, and they can ask us to send them one, and we're happy to do that.
In fact, Andy, let's show the website address while we're just mentioning that, because you also have an email and a phone number. For someone that may not have a computer, it's 858-7754. And your email there is Erie County Clerk Office at erie.gov. So we'll leave that up for a little bit. We'll ask you to get a pen and paper while we continue to discuss what it is that the clerk's office does. In addition to auto and vehicle registration and licenses, what else does the clerk's office do with respect to Erie County?
One more thing on the Renew Local I wanted to hit. The partnership we've done with the public libraries, we felt that was an interesting one, because what we've done is we've encouraged them to really try to aggressively tell those that come in and patronize the library to renew locally. And what we've done on the envelopes that we give to the library is put a P on them so we can see how many come from the public libraries. We're giving that information to the public libraries because then, in my mind, they can go next budget round and say, look, we've helped generate X dollars, so county legislature, county executive, help us now. We've helped on our part to try to help raise revenue ourselves. So it's kind of an interesting opportunity that we have to use our partners in government, the culturals and others, to get the word out here and kind of find this money.
Well, I think that's important. In fact, I get emails all the time from Joy Testa-Cinquino, who runs the public relations for the Buffalo and Erie County Public Libraries. There's so much more going on there. You really haven't been to the library, you should go, because and now you can help out government and do what you need to.
And they really embrace this, and then kind of a sign of the new day at the public libraries.
So going back to my other question, what else does the clerk's office work on besides automotive and vehicle registration?
Half the clerk's office is the automotive, which most people know, auto bureau. The other area is what's called the registrar's office, and that's more the historical function of the county clerk. We're the place you would go when you close on your mortgage. You'd come down to Old County Hall and record your deed and mortgage, or your lawyer would, your banker would. We collected a significant amount of dollars there. Much of that goes up to the state. Some of that stays locally. We're, again, a major revenue generator for the county. Secondarily, and really our historic function is, which is in the state constitution, we are the clerk of the courts. So any lawsuits, any legal proceeding that's occurring, it's filed and recorded in our office, and fees are paid again. So we are a fee collector too. That again goes to mostly the state there. We have a variety of other functions, record keeping functions, which are very critical. One thing we've been very involved with is record keeping of honorable discharge papers for veterans. And I think we talked a bit about the veterans discount card that we've been doing, where now when a veteran records a copy of their honorable discharge papers, we give them a free picture ID, and have gone out to ask area businesses, would you give a discount to the veteran? And we've actually signed up over 500 businesses now that are giving various levels of discount to our veteran community. The final thing which has been very busy, it's the smallest division in the office, but one of the busiest since the passage of the SAFE Act, is the pistol permit division. Why we do pistol permits, I don't know. It's a historic function we've done, but we're the office where one would go if they want to get a pistol permit, add a pistol to their permit, and amend anything in regards to having a handgun firearm. And it has been a very busy office. It's
been a busy season, and you know, politics aside, you're following the rules. We're making sure that everybody's got their permits in place when it comes to what the New York SAFE Act requires.
Absolutely. So we are not a legislative entity. We administer law, really, mostly state law, some locally passed law. So we're an administrator of the laws. We certainly advise and recommend. Work a lot with our statewide Clerks Association on provisions that are coming down that might impact our ability to implement the law well, and we always encourage the legislature to talk with us when they're about to pass something, because we're really the eyes and ears. We're implementers. We work every day. So if something is to succeed well and achieve the goal of this legislation, we really say, talk to us before. And certainly the SAFE Act would have been an example. If we would have talked before that, I think some of the wrinkles here would have worked out a little better.
So you're a busy guy, Chris Jacobs.
Yes.
You and your staff. All right. And WBBZ committed to helping Chris in the Renew local campaign. You'll be seeing messages from Chris on our air as we move forward over the next coming months to make sure that all of that, well, 12% of that money can stay right here in Erie County. We got to get to Albany and get to the governor, maybe through Steve Pigeon. We got to get more of that money here,
exactly.
Chris. All right.
Absolutely.
And we're going to put that information back up on the screen as we go to break. Political Buzz will return right after this. Welcome back to Political Buzz. I'm John DeSciullo here on WBBZ-TV, your hometown television station. One of the gems of our hometown is Shea's Performing Arts Center in downtown Buffalo. This week, the M&T Bank Broadway musical series presents Ghost on stage through Sunday night. But what does it take to bring shows like this to Buffalo? Meet the man behind the curtain, recent Tony Award-winning producer Albert Nocciolino.
Presenting and producing involves knowing the show well in advance, knowing your audience, knowing your community, knowing the market, understanding what the likes are and the dislikes, watching what's happened over the years, how audiences have grown, how they become so engaged in theater. This market, this audience has changed over the years. They know what they like. They love theater. It's a great, great theater town. And so our job is to try to find a balance, something that will be, of course, of interest to those committed theater goers, our subscribers, and also at the same time to try to bring new people to the theater and new audiences, but while we're doing that, still entertaining those people who've committed to us. So it's an equation that we work very hard at. It just doesn't happen by accident.
And as a producer, first of all, congratulations. You picked up a Tony Award this year for the show Kinky Boots. And now, 20 years ago, who knew a show with that title, would get beyond, some back alley someplace. But congratulations on that.
Thank you, and it was very kind. And again, I think in itself that's a really good point. I'm not sure that a show with that title might have worked 20 years ago, but people have moved past that. They look at the show, they look at the subject matter, they look at the creative people involved, Cyndi Lauper, Harvey Fierstein, and they know the story, they find out about the story, and the title just gets moved aside, and they say, this is beautiful, this is a great story, a great musical, and that's why it's resonating and it's working so well. In particular with that show, Cindy's done a great job with a fresh new script, score, and what Harvey did with the script was unbelievable. But yeah, there's shows like that you don't expect to happen, and then they do, and people respond to them.
Let's talk a little bit about, you just kind of identified something old school with a record. And here in Buffalo and here at Shea's, you have an interesting mix of what I would define as sort of old school with shows like Evita, and then something brand new, with Ghost, the adaptation. So, as a producer, once again, you're reading that audience, and you have to keep it fresh, but you can't ignore the core audience and what they like too.
Again, that's so correct. First of all, part of what we have to do is pay attention to what happens on Broadway. Everything that finds its way out on the road in America is predetermined by what's worked on Broadway. And again, to use the word I did before, finding that balance, finding the kind of shows that people will enjoy. The first commitment, the first priority is to say we've got 13,000 Broadway theater subscribers here at Shea's, and they want to see the best that's available 2 Tony Award-winning shows this year in the season. Once. Won the Tony Award last year for Best Musical, Porgy and Bess. Won the Tony Award for Best Revival of a Musical. That's the priority. Then we say to ourselves, we want to make sure they're entertained. We make sure they're entertained. Are there any classics available? Here comes Evita, brand new production on Broadway, revived on Broadway, available on the road. Want to get that in there because good classics, good revivals, I do prefer the word classics, again, respond very well here. Something new. Ghost was terrific, entertaining, brand new attempt at creating the spectacular visuals on stage to kind of duplicate what the movie did, which was very hard. And it did it in a great way. Also will bring in new audiences, people who don't normally come because the show's branded, they know the movie. Then we look for shows that will bring families in. Always got to have a family show. This year we have The Grinch, a great holiday show, a show that's become a tradition on Broadway now. Every year you'll find 2 or 3 shows on Broadway in November and December servicing the holiday audience. So that's what we all wanted to do here with that as well.
We talked before we started the interview about the old days here when you were knocking bricks out, bringing in set pieces
right.
for Les Mis, and and I certainly recall all those days too, fundraising just to keep the lights on, and we're certainly beyond that. So I would think now that as a result of how things have moved forward, theater companies, touring bus and truck companies, all the producers would probably look to come to Shea's now. This is probably a stop that they want to make, not something that they have to make.
Oh, it's a premier stop on the touring circuit. We were fortunate enough a year ago, December, to be featured in the New York Times as one of the best stops in America for shows on the road, with 13,000 subscribers, with one of the most magnificent theaters in America, and with a community that supports all the shows that come through here. We sell out. People just love coming to Shea's. They love to come to see the shows, but they love to come to Shea's as much. Yeah. This is their theater. They've embraced it. Tony and Patrick before him and the whole staff here, they've turned this theater back to what it looked like when it was first opened. It's a spectacular venue. And I think the combination of all of that has really worked to the point that we don't have to ask anymore. Every producer of every show that gets ready to go on the road wants to come to Buffalo. It's not an accident. Book of Mormon was here in the first year last year. One of the smaller markets that Book of Mormon made its way to was Buffalo, New York. Yeah. And of course we sold out in a couple hours. So it's a great story, and I think it goes to everything that's happened here over the last 20, 25 years.
What is it in your gut that goes tick that this is going to work as a show? Even one of the classic shows, with how they've maybe put it back together again.
Yeah, that's a hard question. It's for me, it's something that happens internally. As an example, almost 2 years ago, I went to see Once, which we have coming here this year, which was in a little theater with 200 people off Broadway. And I remember after the show, I called the lead producer saying, I don't remember the last time my heart, my head, and my soul crossed over the stage. I felt it. I was like, they pulled me right in. It's a feeling that happens. It happened to me all the way back when I first saw Chorus Line the first time, or when I saw Les Mis, when I read the score and the script for Kinky Boots. Something happens that you say, there's a beautiful story here. I'm engaged. I care about the people on stage. Oh, and I'm being entertained at the same time. Yeah. When that magic comes together with all of those ingredients, something special happens, and usually it's a show that's been very successful on Broadway, and it works when it gets on the road as well.
And if you'd like more information on Shea's, you can find more about Shea's at the Shea's Performing Arts Center, 646 Main Street in Buffalo. They're in the Theater District, online at sheas.org, or their box office phone number, 847-1410. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Political Buzz. You're looking at video from a lunch event at the Buffalo Marriott Hotel held earlier this week by the New York State Broadcasters. The organization recognized WBBZ-TV for our continuing community work as your hometown television station. Our Vice President and General Manager, Bob Kaczynski, and I were joined by Matt Smith from Prevention Focus to pick up honors for that, helping that organization spread their message about substance abuse and helping teens make healthy life choices, notably when we partnered with them at the Erie County Fair this past August. Who could forget the Hot Shot Football Challenge? Prevention Focus raised over $6,000 for their educational programs. And if you're watching Thursday morning, Matt and his team invite you to their OK 5K fun run at Saturday morning at Ellicott Creek Park. And you can get more at preventionfocus.com. BBB.org. Now, another organization that WBBZ is helping is the Better Business Bureau. In fact, our owner, Phil Arno, is a board member of the BBB, and to help businesses and consumers move forward, one of their latest projects is designed to help you avoid identity theft. And here to tell us more about that and other projects to protect you and your family is my friend Peggy Penders. Peggy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John.
What is the mission of the BBB, quickly?
The mission is to advance trust in the marketplace, and we do that in a variety of ways, but essentially to help consumers find trusted businesses to work with, and now charities that they would like to consider donating to.
That's important. So many not-for-profit entities that are out there. The event coming up Saturday at Tops Markets is really designed to help people avoid identity theft. And maybe for some of our viewers that may not know what that is, before we get into the specifics of the event, what is identity theft?
Well, identity theft is perhaps you posing as me. You take my identity and you use it inappropriately without my permission. So that's the essential, kind of just broad overarching statement about identity theft. It's basically someone taking your person and using it against your will.
So that could be taking a social security number or taking some data, address, home phone, all of that information that's uniquely yours, and somebody taking it, acting as if they're you, to try to get loans or make purchases.
Right. All of it comes back to financial impact, but it also can affect your future purchases. If someone gets a hold of your Social Security number, you don't know if they're going to use that in the next week, the next month. It could be years down the line before you really get into trouble.
And so much of this now is really brought on by the fact that computers are so pervasive. Everybody has a computer. It seems as if everybody has a computer. If you don't, a lot of seniors I know use them at libraries to look up information, and emails has really become the major form of communication, and people fish for information, which is kind of interesting, that term fish, because they're really kind of trying to suck the life out of your computer to get information.
It truly kind of connects with that idea of a fish hook. So you throw it into somebody's computer, just like a lake, and you're hoping someone's going to take your bait. And it is very easy and fast for someone to fall victim to that type of identity theft. October happens to be a big month when it comes to identity theft. It's Identity Theft Prevention Week, which BBB is kicking off with Secure Your ID Day. It's also Cyber Security Awareness Month. So this is a great time to be talking about what are these things that we're all facing on a day-to-day basis. Phishing is certainly very prevalent, and as you mentioned, they're very smart. They can propose to be someone that you know well, that you think you're doing business with. It could be a retailer. It could be someone in your community. There could be a logo or a brand that you're familiar with. So you just think, oh, that's so-and-so, no problem. I'm going to see what this more information is about. Oftentimes they're playing on emotions. So they want you to say, oh, there's a problem with your account, so click here. Stop. Think about it before you do any of those types of actions.
And what are you going to do at Tops Friendly Markets on Saturday to help prevent identity theft?
This Saturday, October 19th, we have Secure Your ID Day. We're going to have events at 2 Tops locations, one in Cheektowaga near the Galleria Mall, and one on Maple Road and Transit. We're going to shred personal documents. So if you have information that you just don't know what to do with, you don't know how long to hang on to it, we're going to share that information with you. And we're inviting you to bring down your personal documents and have them destroyed on site.
So that's very important that that information not be thrown out just in the garbage bag and left at the curb, because people that are out there could go through your garbage literally.
See, I wouldn't see myself going dumpster diving, but unfortunately,
some people do.
It still happens.
Yeah.
Folks are looking for this information. So anything that connects to who you are, where you live, what are your numbers, kind of protect all of that information at all times, including your garbage. So you've got to make sure that your Social Security is under wraps, that you're not carrying it with you, that you have your driver's license, all of your financial statements, and that you're checking them on a regular basis. And to the Better Business Bureau, that's at least once a week. The faster you find someone using your information inappropriately, the better chances you have from stopping it from spreading.
I've had some friends who've had their identities stolen, and it's quite powerful because you have to go through all your credit cards, and it's just a mess. And sometimes they can't recoup what's been stolen. So that's tough. Now, if some of our viewers are watching on Sunday after the fact, you have a website, the Better Business Bureau, that people can go to all the time.
Well, they can. BBB.org, real simple. wbb.org. You want to look in the news center. There's a lot of great information there and tip information, and there's certainly information about identity theft for this month that we're leading up to, and security, cybersecurity awareness as well.
All right, well, we're going to end Political Buzz by showing you that information and making sure that if you're watching on Thursday, that you get to Tops
Markets in Cheektowaga on Union Road, and also in Amherst on Maple Road and Transit.
All right. And we thank you for watching us, and we'll be having Peggy and representatives from the Better Business Bureau back here on WBBZ in all ways, shapes, and forms in the coming weeks and months to help protect you, our hometown viewer. That's it for Political Buzz for this week. We'll see you Thursday morning at 9 and Sunday at 11 on WBBZ-TV. Thanks, Peggy.
You're welcome.